Hi, everybody. I'm Ronit on the East Coast.
And I'm with Kate on the West Coast. And we are
And we are
hopelessly,
hopelessly
entirely,
unedited. Oh,
utterly unedited. We're all these
but
things. I suck. I keep
you said
adding
a little
words
bit.
in there.
You caught me off guard. Okay. Next time you tell me what words, I'll try to say it too.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, today we're going to talk about something that's really close to our needs. Lifestyle these days. Because she's just entering menopause. And menopause is,
Not
I'm sure.
just a couple of years now.
Okay, so she's been going through menopause and she's been bothered by it, whatever. And I think it's been 2 years.
Well, I'm
So
menopaused already, so I'm not going through it.
so she's finished with menopause. She's done with it. But she has some symptoms. Um, and I think most people know what menopause is when we don't have menstrual cycles anymore. Can't have babies anymore. You don't produce any more eggs. But it kind of fucks up a bunch of things that normally work, So some people go through this process when they're in their 40s, some people in their 50s, and some people in their 60s. But I think it's fairly common nowadays to get started in your 50s, early 50s, to sort of have the first menopause symptoms. So I don't know. But some of the things you get with menopause that are really, really annoying. And I went through menopause. I had everything taken out. So I went through menopause all at once a long time ago. There are some things that are really annoying, and we'll talk about this a little bit more with Renee. So you get hot flashes. That's really ridiculous because see, Renee doesn't, but most people will get that. And that's really annoying because your face flushes. Your whole body gets really hot, then you sweat in places you didn't even know you could sweat. It's really awful.
Oh.
Then you get night sweats. So like your body, here you are sleeping, and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I'm so hot. And you just uncover yourself and you're drenched in sweat. And then you're cold again. So it's really ridiculous to have that. And then during perimenopause, so the very beginning of the menopause, your period just becomes really kind of scattered. Prior to this, you may have them every 28 days. But then during perimenopause, you may have one at 28 days and the second one at 35 and the third one at 40 days and then another time at 28 days. You never know when it happens. It just happens. And that's really kind of annoying. The biggest one for me has been sleep problems. Like I don't sleep half as well as I used to before. I wake up a lot, and then it's really hard to go back to sleep. So sleeping in chunks, Then there's also mood changes. Some people, they get really, really upset. So like the female hormones, when you have them, they really help regulate your mood so you don't get, so it's not like testosterone that kind of gets your going this way. The estrogen and the other female hormones, they just kind of bring you down and keep you even keeled. So when you don't have those hormones that are generated anymore, then you become kind of bitchy. So go ahead, Bernie.
Question though, didn't they say women are so emotional? It's because of our hormones though? You said it keeps us level. What does that mean?
Yeah, but we also get very
people just bitch
empathetic.
about us?
No, I think female hormones also get you, when you have them, they also kick in that motherly instinct, that empathy bone that we have. Everybody has like more or less empathy, but when you are a woman, you have more in general. You are more prone to having emotions in the sense of yeah, that kind of stuff, empathetic, feeling for others, just feeling in general. You feel pretty good. When you have testosterone, I think you feel a little bit less, you do a little bit more, right? That's the difference between men and women is that guys will just go and do something. They'll go run for a bit, or they'll cut down a tree, or they'll, do some crazy shit. And women in general, they don't tend to do that too much. Not to say that we don't, but we don't have it quite as much as guys. So it's kind of, so we do have those mood swings. We also get brain fog, so you kind of start forgetting what things are. You forget, simple things. Where did I put my keys, or where are my shoes? Or I thought I put my purse right over here, and it sucks to have that. And then there's like a whole bunch of other things. So you get vaginal dryness, so you don't secrete as much as you used to before, so it makes sex a little bit different. So you gotta sort of, PIV, as they call it, penis and vagina sex, makes it a little bit different. Your libido decreases. Your weight changes. So that's a big one for me. Like the moment I had that surgery 15 years ago, something like that, 17 years ago, I put on weight like almost immediately. Like it happened to my mom too. So I think it's kind of how our body reacts. But with Ronit, she probably had none of these weight change issues.
No, I actually lost weight.
See, so your weight can change in either way, I suppose.
I think
We'll
so.
talk about that. Then you have this is like all the fun ones, right? So your hair thins, so you lose hair. You have joint pain, so like like everything starts creaking and it hurts. And then for women, you lose bone density. So that is a big one, because then, as you get older, you can break your bones easier. So if you fall, sometimes you're like, well, I didn't fall from very high, but I broke my hip, and here it is, because you don't have those fun hormones. So that's like the common symptoms, like fun times. What do you think,
Wait.
Renee?
What is the fun hormone? There's a fun hormone? Do I?
No,
Tell me where it
fun
is.
times.
What?
No, I didn't say fun hormone.
Oh,
I said
oh,
fun
I thought you.
times.
Oh, I thought you said fun hormones, and I was like, there's a fun hormones. I want some.
No, well, all the feminine hormones. I might have said fun, but
Uh,
I meant women, feminine. I don't know. I don't
we
know
can
how to
just call
say
it
it
fun
so UPC.
hormones. Fun hormones.
Okay, the
I like
fun
that.
hormones. So, Renee, what do you think of all these symptoms? Do you have any of those? And like, why are you bitching about your menopause?
The reason, Kate, you and I had the same doctor. Because the reason why I had my doctor was years ago. I asked you, I said, "Oh, who's your doctor? Is your doctor good?" Because I had just moved into the area, and you introduced me to your doctor, and then that doctor got older and decided to take a less stressful job. And then a French doctor, lady doctor, took over, and we both loved her. And one day I went in, I was in my 40s, and I said, "Hey, my birth control pill prescription expired. Can you prescribe new prescription?" And then she said, "How old are you?" And I said, 40, late 40s, I guess, 45, 46 maybe. And then she looked at me, she said, "Why are you still taking birth control? You should stop taking it when you're in your 30s. I said, "Why?" She said, "You just don't take these hormones for so long." So I said, "What do I do?" And she said, "Well, you just need to use other methods. And at your age, you should go into menopause in about 6 months." And I was 45, 46. So I thought, yes, because I was looking forward to it. Isn't that like, Kate, when I was little, because I went into puberty really late, I think I was 15 when I got my first period. And I always thought, I wish I got my first period, because all my friends had period. And I would just feel like so out of place. And after I got it, I was really excited. And then I realized that's a burden. And I was really excited when our doctor told me that I would go into menopause. And I was like, yes, I don't have to deal with that stupid stuff, right? I was sitting there every month. I was diarying how many days apart. And like for I was 46, I think, when she told me that. And I finally completed menopause at 56. I waited for 10 years after she said, "Oh, you'll go into menopause in 6 months." So my period, let's talk about that. It started to fluctuate after I went off birth control. It didn't fluctuate for a few years. I was still 28 days every month, but then it was heavier. So that was really annoying because I wasn't taking birth control. And then it started going into the cycle as what you said. Sometimes it's 28, sometimes it's 45, and sometimes is, however long. And when it's longer than 28 days, I was so excited. I thought, okay, finally. So I actually diary all the dates I'm getting it. But that was
You didn't think you were pregnant, did you? Like at any
no,
time go like, "Oh, I'm pregnant.
no, but
I
there are other
skipped
symptoms.
a period. I'm pregnant."
No, there's other symptoms, right? If you're pregnant. And I didn't have those. So I know, okay, it's not. But I diary journal how many days apart. And then I remember there was one time I did not get my period for 6 months. But as you know, you're supposed to be not getting period consecutively 12 months before you're really into menopause, right? And then the seventh month, I got it. And I thought, son of a gun. So I have to restart the counter. That was the most annoying thing. So that is like that part of my experience. And so there's that. And then what else you talked about?
So
Uh,
you noticed that something was changing when? Like
uh,
when you were 46 or when you were 56?
so when I was 56, okay, I did not gain weight. I started losing weight. I think in the earlier episode, we talked about I was bullied of being fat because I weigh 125 pounds. That the airline said I needed to be 110 for my weight if I want to be a flight attendant. Fine, but that's a non-American airline, and I actually just lost a lot of weight without doing anything. I actually went to the doctor. The doctor is like, okay, 110 is your cutoff. If you're like at that weight, we have to do more tests on you. They did all the tests. I was fine. So I didn't have problems with my weight. I didn't gain. I lost, and then So one thing. Oh,
So
after the
did you
menopause is done.
so did you, because you were losing weight, did you start eating more food? Because
No, I
we know
was
you
eating the
can
same.
eat, like you can eat in quantities that are absolutely insane for anybody else. But did you
Um,
eat even more?
no, I eat the same amount. I would eat the same amount, but I didn't eat more. Oh, that's true because I feel like my appetite it's a little bit less because before I would just eat and eat and eat and don't want to stop, right? After menopause, I would stop. When I'm done eating, I'm done eating. So that's something that's changed, I would say. So that's probably contribute partly to my weight loss because I'm eating like a normal person instead of
Yeah.
like a crazy. It's like I'm competing for that Coney Island hot dog competition every day. So instead of that, I just eat like a normal person.
So
Um,
so what symptoms did you have that surprised you the most?
I Yeah, I was very depressed for a long time and I did not know I was depressed. I think you knew a little bit. I think I told you about it.
Mm.
And in fact, I know a lot of people was concerned about me. Um, I think
Because you're usually
outwardly,
so bright and so happy. And so,
exactly. I mean, for people that didn't know me, it just looked at me like a normal person. But people that knows me is like, what is wrong with her?
yeah.
I basically didn't have that drive to. Okay, this sounds really bad, but it's not that as bad as it sounds. I just didn't have the drive to live almost. Um, so I'm always kind of happy go lucky and just kind of crazy. I but I'm not like one of these people that are very goal oriented. Hey, this is my goal. I reach it. Like before I reach it, I gotta set up another one. I'm not like that. I'm just like happy and just live my life, right? I guess it's because it's part of my culture too. Did I ever tell you that story? Long time ago when I was going to school in the US, I went to Hong Kong for a summer and pick up a temporary job as a secretary for the sales executive at Digital, which is this, it dated me, is this old computer company, right? One of the sales director was talking to me at one time, and he said one thing and saying that, look at thousands of Chinese history. You have all these dynasty government per se, right? They rise and they fall. And the reason why they fall is the same story because people started to get hungry. They don't have anywhere to live. So it's like food and shelter. It's the most important thing. If a government stop providing food and shelter for people, creating the environment they can have that, people are going to revolt. So to me, I feel like and I thought, yeah, that's totally right. In my culture is, I have a shelter, I have food, I'm happy. So I don't set these goals and want to get bigger and bigger. I mean, I want to do a good job. I'm a hard worker, you know that. But that's all. So it's more like, okay, this is the moment. I live in the moment. I find things that I would be happy, but I just didn't have that. Once like I was happy that I didn't have a period. But all of a sudden it's like, you know, I um I just didn't have any reason to
Yeah,
drive me to
it's
continue to
true that
go.
the lows get really low. The
Mhm.
highs the highs are kind of the same,
Mm.
but the lows can be low. So like when you're
Yeah,
feeling
all of a
down on
sudden.
yourself, yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like, and then it's hard to get out of it. And then
Mhm.
that's when people say you're moody and things like, and you are, like it's for real, you are. You're just going through some shit. And people
Yeah.
don't like talking about those um those things. They don't like talking about how you feel mentally. Like if you have
Right.
some mental issue of some sort, you're depressed, you're not
Mm.
feeling good, or you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, it's your problem to just go and fix it
Mhm.
on your own, and it sucks.
Yeah. I
Mental
I
issues, that's when you need the people around you the most to be supportive and to
mhm.
be there and come and see you. That's another thing. When
Mhm.
you're depressed, you need a lot of people to come and see you,
Yeah.
to make you feel like you're needed, wanted, liked, appreciated.
Mhm. Yeah, I think I'm lucky because I never thought about taking my life. So honestly, I thought about, okay, because I'm a chicken shit. I thought about, okay, how if I just end this? And then I just cannot come up with a way that it's easy and painless. So I'm such a chicken shit. I was like, yeah, no freaking way. I'm not gonna kill myself, And I think that's a good thing. And then,
Yeah, for sure.
I've talked to you about it. I think, you listen to me ramble a little bit. I have other friends and I was our friend Rich that was on the show one time. I think I was like texting with him and I mentioned something like, I just don't think I have that will to live. And bam, the phone rang and he called me right away. I didn't even, ask him. So of course, my husband, my kids, and they're all concerned. And I remember one time I lashed out at them. I said, "You just don't understand," like a crazy person. But for some reason, I don't know. Kate, have you read any study? And somehow it just started regulating, and then I'm okay again.
Yeah, it just eventually it might take a long time. It drags on for years for most people.
Hmm.
But eventually it kind of goes away. So what happens when you go through menopause? You stop generating these hormones that regulate your mood and regulate everything in your life. And you've got to learn to live with them or you got to replace them. So most of the time
Hmm.
people replace them with HRT, some hormone replacement therapy of some sort. They do that to help ease themselves into menopause so that it's not so, because it can be quite fast and quite drastic. So
Hmm.
like mine was really fast, you know, So it can be super fast, and perhaps it's overwhelming, but there's some stuff that people do. Um, so the HRT is the number one thing you do. You just
Mm,
go and you get a low dose hormone replacement. Um, you can get it in pills, in a gel form, in a patch form. You can do all sorts of different ways for the hormones. But you can also go the route of the antidepressants. So SSRIs, SNRIs, and things like that. Gabapentin, they will treat the depression, and they'll
mm,
also help regulating the hot flashes. So some people they get that and they do that, and sometimes they do both. They do HRT because it can be so dramatic for some people. They can be so ruled by hormones that when they start
mm.
going away, they become a completely different person. So you can do that. You can also um, what's really helpful is when your metabolism slows down uh, when you're going through menopause, you need to start exercising again.
Mm.
So like if you really get into a good exercise regimen, strength training and cardio, so like you'll help your mood in general, and you also help your bone density and your joints to continue staying better. So you can do that. You can get some calcium, some vitamin D,
Mm.
eat a lot of protein. You can stop drinking alcohol, drinking coffee, things like that. They normally are okay in your body, but once you go through menopause, it's kind of hard. What I did as well is some acupuncture,
Oh.
so it helped me deal with my moods
Mm-hmm.
and my aches in general, like the joint aches. Oh, um, and then eventually they tell you got to take the fish oils, like omega-3 fish
Oh,
oils. Yeah, so you just keep your body joints from creaking by
lubricated.
taking the oils.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you take the magnesium supplements because your muscles they tend to get achy as well. And so if you take magnesium, it helps. Also, when you're
I
going
get
through menopause,
cramps.
yeah, exactly. So magnesium
Charlie
really helps
horse.
with it.
Yeah. Okay.
And then magnesium helps you poop as well, because that's something else that kind of goes with the menopause is that your entire like gut system slows down.
Mm.
And it means
Okay.
that you're not pooping as much as often, maybe as much as before, but not as often. It's much more complicated and harder. So you'll hear this a
Mm.
lot from people as they get older. But if you get on some of these things, then it's easier.
Hmm.
So,
I
speaking of hard, what ended up being harder than you expected for you?
that mood thing. That's the mood thing. I heard about the mood thing, but I didn't know that it's actually gonna, you know, be there. I thought it was just like, oh, maybe I'll just like cry for no reason in the morning once a month. That's what I thought. I didn't know it's gonna be like this constant thing that's like weighing on me. And but somehow maybe my body adjust. I'm so stupid. I didn't go and get anything. I didn't talk to my doctor. So I just kind of let it stew around for I would say about 6 months. And then kind of just I got used to it and just kind of went away. But honestly, with this experience, I appreciate it because I have friends that are, that are and were suffering from depression. I didn't get it at all. Honestly, I did not get it. I didn't understand why are you depressed? What does it feel like? I didn't know. And now I understand it. I feel like I have more compassion and understanding for, people that I know and I care about. So that's a, good thing that comes out of it, to me.
Yeah. I think one of the things that can happen and happens often enough as people get older, they get depressed because they start seeing that they get older as well. So like they
Mm,
start seeing that they have brain fog and that they're forgetting things, that they're not half as good at doing stuff as they used to be. Like they can't run as fast, or or it hurts to do something, and that gets people really, really uh depressed, and it sucks, so like when you
Yeah.
when you have older people and they are going through this stuff, it doesn't make someone dumb. It doesn't make
Hmm.
somebody not any less useful. It just makes them a little slower. And
Yeah.
society doesn't have patience for anything that's slow. So like employers, they'll start looking at your slowness as like, yeah, we don't want that in the team, in the organization.
Hmm.
They're too slow. Something's wrong. We need some fresh blood. You hear
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
often. I need some fresh blood. And I think that's
They're
really sad.
vampire. Suck the life out
Yeah,
of you.
yeah. As people start living longer, and as we continue with the stupid
Mm.
policies that we have of not supporting people in their retirement years, they're going to keep working or trying to work longer and longer and longer, and they're going to get some shit jobs because people in corporations are still not going to want to hire them. And so you're going to have this growing population of older people who can't really support themselves, and it becomes, I think it's a very complicated societal issue.
Mm. Mm.
Aging is in general, but that menopause is just the beginning of that process.
Yeah. So
Let's talk
talking
about
about joint.
something.
Oh,
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. You asked me a question.
No, you said talking about joints.
Yeah, so one thing, that's one thing. I don't know if it's because I'm just getting older, arthritis, if it's menopause related. I do feel, joints, like my right knee hurts, and then my fingers, all the years that when I was younger playing basketball and volleyball, jamming my fingers, and these are the places that hurt. And my shoulder just keep having problems too. So is it menopause related, or I'm just getting old? I have no idea. So
I think
that
it's
bothers me.
likely it's both, right? Menopause is just the beginning of the aging process in general, of the
For
dramatic
women.
aging process for women. Yeah, I think you start aging when you turn in your early 30s, maybe. You start
Mm,
slowing down tremendously.
yeah,
Well, not tremendously then. You start slowing down, but then it becomes quite sharp with
right.
menopause. Um, so, was there anything that turned out to be easier than you thought it would be as part of this process? Because we talked about a bunch of awful symptoms, but it
Yeah.
sounds like you didn't have a lot of them.
No, I don't. I just don't even know is I'm just like too dumb to recognize them. Or somehow I don't think about things a lot of times. No, you talked about uh you just talked about working. You're a little slower, not as quick. Maybe I was less quick the last, I don't know, 6 7 years in my professional career, but I just didn't think about it. I just did the same thing. um the I feel like the easier one was I did really worry about my getting older, right? You talk about getting older, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm vain. I
No.
worry about I worry about my hair, my skin, or whatnot. I didn't notice the difference. Hair thinning a little bit, and then, I started seeing little lines and wrinkles that I never saw, and all of a sudden I saw the texture of my skin change. I was like freaked out a little bit, but then I kind of settled in. I guess because I was depressed for 6 months and I kind of worried more about that. And then after that went away, I just kind of settled in and I was like, you know what? Everybody gets old. You
So
look
it
at,
didn't really affect your daily routine. You didn't
oh
have
yeah, it
like,
does.
it did?
Yeah, because like even now, before I just came out of the shower, just slapped something on my face, and now I have to use like this hair thing and that. It takes me so much longer just because of that. But I kind of and at first I just thought this is gonna consume me, but then it's so much easier now than I thought because I actually settled in and knew that everyone gets old and we're all gonna be wrinkly. Our hair is gonna thin, except you, Kate. You just have a good head of hair. I just don't know how you did it, but Um,
Yeah, but it's gray, right? Look at this.
but
It's
it's
just
like it's a good gray. And
yeah, everybody asks me if I paid to get this hair done. I'm like, no,
it's
it's all
so
natural, babe.
beautiful. I know. It's annoying.
Well, but then, I think because people are vain, so when they get through menopause and hair starts thinning and it starts turning gray, then you
Yeah.
start seeing people just dyeing their hair a lot, and it's kind of, that's just what happens. But my aunt, she's 97,
Yeah.
and she has a head of hair like you wouldn't think that she is 97.
Wow.
She has like 3 or 4 white hairs on the side,
Mm-hmm.
on both sides,
Mm-hmm.
and the rest of her hair is really the same color it was 40 years ago.
It's a genetic. You got some good genes there.
But I have the white hair. She doesn't. So go
Well, the
figure.
color doesn't matter though, too, right? It's the thickness. I think if your hair is gray,
Yeah, I guess.
like thick hair like you, fuck, I'll take your color. Let's swap.
So, so I see you laughing, and it makes me think. So, did you have one of those moments during your menopause time where you just had to laugh about it? Because it was just so stupid, so painful, so dark. I don't know, so something that you just said like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna laugh."
No, I don't. I'm just like, I don't have a
You
sense
were
of
just
humor. I'm very
depressed.
literal. I was just
Yeah,
depressed and I'm very literal. I'm like counting. uh, Have I gone through my 12-month cycle without a period? I was like looking, I was
yeah.
obsessively
You're
marking those.
practical.
And
Yeah.
yeah, I never really thought much about that. I just
Good.
wanted to be over with, right? And that's kind of my mindset. But I have to say, once I settled in, for me anyway, once I settled in, everyone is different. Um, I like my life so much better.
Yeah.
Like even with the pain, in my finger and stuff like that. And because that is when I really can say, I really don't give a fuck.
So what helped you the most?
For what? For the depression or just,
But throughout your menopause. Any tips, anything that has really helped you, maybe you drank ginger tea, or you
oh,
started going to bed early, or, like, I don't know, did more
yeah,
exercise.
I definitely went to sleep a little earlier. Another thing is that I kind of settle into a milder routine for my body because, as you said, your joint starts to hurt. I used to run, I used to do all these stuff, and it just hurts afterwards, right? And I just decided, okay, so just like scaled it back. Don't feel bad about you cannot do certain thing, but scale back to do something like, say, on Instagram, I follow this lady that she gives 10-minute yoga routine rather than a whole session that is like an hour long. 10-minute routine. I would do 3 a day, morning, midday, and night. Split it up, and I still feel like my body it's still get the exercise, and
Yeah,
I'm
that
still
sounds
not
pretty
out of
wise.
shape. It's just it's kinder to myself, and tell myself that it's okay that you're not running 5K, 10K, half marathon. It's okay. It's okay to just drop it. Um, we
It's
change.
nice
Our
to be
lives
gentle
change.
to yourself. It's a good idea
Mhm.
to just say, it's all right.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we change, and you gotta. I definitely. I think about. It's annoying. You mentioned you forget things, right? Um, I just try to find sense of humor about it because my mother had dementia. And I always feel like, I'm gonna be demented like her when I get older. So like I would walk upstairs I had a purpose to walk upstairs. And then I'm standing upstairs and I was like, what am I up here for? Things like that. I just have to laugh at myself instead of
Oh, there
getting
you go.
annoyed. I just like, well, this is me. It's gonna be like that. I just need to be thankful that my daughters don't need to change my diapers yet.
I I've always known you a little bit ditzy. So,
I
it's not
am.
really surprising that you do stuff like that.
Well, talking about
But you
ditzy
laugh
too. I
about
don't.
it, which is great.
Well, what can you do, right? But talking about ditzy, it's kind of like things. What I sent you a picture. I made this chocolate tart yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And
Mm.
but it always happens to me these days, and I think it's part of that menopause, so the your mind work a little differently. I
Yeah.
would get all these recipe. I would look at the ingredients. I look at the picture, and then I thought, "Oh, that looks so good! I'm gonna go out and buy this stuff." And I went out and bought the stuff, and then I started making it. I was looking at the instruction. It's always more commitment than I realized I needed. So that chocolate tart basically took me hours because you have to like bake the crust. You have to pour it in and bake it again, and then let it set, and then you glaze it, whatever. So I was telling Rob, my husband, it's like, oh man, it's like more commitment than I thought. And then he said, maybe you should read the instruction first. Didn't you read that? Like, no. That's kind of like my dizziness, kind of amplify, you know, at menopause.
No, I
So,
I just think it's great that you want to do something, you just plunge into it. Like I love this thing about you that you don't like the decision is made quite rapidly as to whether you're going to do something or not. It's like, yeah, I want to try this, therefore I'm going to do it. So I think it's good that you still do that. So what do you wish you had known before menopause that you
oh, I wish that I knew to talk to you first. Like you were just telling me about those hormone replacement, and all I heard about those was like, oh, it's really bad for you. It's gonna give you cancer. And then I just like put it in the brain, and it just sits there without talking to anyone. I mean, actually, my husband suggested that. Do you need to go to the doctor and take some hormone? And I was like, oh, I don't know, no. But in the back of my mind, I thought, oh, are you insane? It's gonna give me cancer. You trying to kill me or something? That's in my back of my head. But I wish that I think I don't know I don't know if I can blame it on menopause or whatever is happening in my life at that time. I had that one piece of information. I just held on to it rather than doing more research. It could have helped, but I guess in the back of my mind, I worry once I start, can I ease back out and how that process is. I guess I worry about that too. So I never did that. And my daughter just told me, "Oh, you should have probably tried Ginkgo, some supplement." And I thought, "Oh, I could have tried that." I don't know. I just never, thought about it.
so I think that's you shared a lot of good advice and experiences there that people can be prepared for, so at least if they watch this they'll be like, oh, I'm more prepared than I was before, hopefully. But has out of like this menopause, has there been anything that was like you didn't expect it but it was positive? I mean,
Did
I would
not
say,
expect.
yeah, go ahead.
No,
Or
no, go for
even
it.
expected.
Oh, not having a period is like the best
Yeah,
thing
there you go.
ever. I would say almost 99.9% of the women would say yes to that.
What about things you didn't, you weren't aware were going to happen that now are you think are pretty great or positive
Um,
anyway, like good?
I that depression thing, once I ease back out of it, I'm actually more level-headed compared to before. I don't know why. So it's kind of like a not depressed, level-headed Ronit, though I'm still kind of crazy, as you know. But
Yeah, for
you know,
sure. You kind of are.
yeah. And
So, go ahead.
no, no, nothing.
Did
I'm done.
did you have any last comments to make before I start with the rapid fire?
Uh, just uh, just be kind to yourself, and everyone is different. I think unlike me, you should do more research on, what can help you, but don't look at other people and things that you have to measure up and be the same as them, because I think that itself, menopause or not, it would make you depressed.
Okay. Well, thanks for these closing thoughts. Can I go ahead with the rapid fire
Yeah,
questions?
far away.
Okay, let me find them. Okay, here we go.
Hmm.
Hot flashes or night sweats?
Hot flashes.
Coffee or tea?
Tea.
Early bird or night owl?
Early bird.
One word to describe menopause.
Sucks.
Best comfort food during menopause.
Fried rice. Fly
Oh,
lice.
I can't believe you did that, but you can. You can.
I
I
can. I'm
couldn't have done that.
Chinese.
I know I couldn't have done that, but it's still pretty funny. Uh, so, uh, most annoying symptom. I understand might
Uh,
be depression.
Most annoying symptoms. I don't know. The unpredictable period.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and that's pretty annoying because you always have
Yeah,
to be ready. Yeah.
yeah.
Something you've stopped caring about since the menopause started or finished or whatever.
I stopped caring about to be this super uber sports woman.
So you don't care about presenting as this super athletic person anymore.
I used to feel like that's everything to present myself as an active, in good shape person, and I don't care anymore. I mean, I'm not completely out of shape, but I don't care.
So what's a new habit you've picked up?
Um, just do everything slowly. And know this thing, like we talked about before, that I would see recipe, I would try it without even looking at the instructions. And uh, if I look out in the yard, there are flowers, I would research and see if I can cut them and if they're toxic to my animals. Just like small things that I never did. I would just notice. It seems like I just notice everything.
That's cool. It's kind of
Yeah.
cool. And what about, can you just give us some advice, like in a couple, 3 words or less?
On what?
Like if you're going through menopause or you're going to enter menopause,
Hmm.
do you have any advice?
Well, talk to the medical professional. Don't do what I did. I didn't talk to anyone.
I don't know. I mean, it's good to be well informed, right? So you talk to the medical professionals as to what there is you can do,
Hmm.
right? But it doesn't mean you should do what they say. I think you should
Right.
do what makes you feel good, At the end of the day, there's one thing that I learned from the medical professionals is that they will do whatever you tell them because they don't really know what
Mm.
to do. Otherwise, they're going to put you in a cookie cutter thing. They're going to do for you
Hmm.
the same thing they did for this person right before you who had the same symptoms, and they're not going to tailor
Yeah.
them appropriately. So you got to go in to see a medical professional with a learning mindset, and then you go back with a decision mindset. You don't make a decision necessarily right away because you need to weigh what you can do with medicine, what you can do with your lifestyle, what you can do with changing your diet,
Hmm.
things like that, as well as potentially what medically you can do.
Yeah, just don't be naive like me. I mean, all I was thinking about is maybe I'll have hot flashes and I won't have a period. And that's all I had in my head. I didn't really do any research. So don't be like me. That would be my advice.
All right. Well, those are really, I was going to say those are good words, but I don't know what's wrong with being like you. So those are words for our closing from Runit.
Yes.
So if you're going through menopause or you're thinking about it occasionally or whatever, you want to talk to us about what happened during this show, or you want to talk about anything else, just feel free to comment.
Yep.
And Ronit will read the comments on
Yes.
the next show, and then we'll discuss them. So we want to hear from you guys. It's always so fun.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So
I'm done.
with that said, I'm Ronit on the East Coast.
And I'm with Kate on the West Coast. Be seeing you.
And we are
And we are hopelessly
hopelessly unedited.
unedited. We
Did we
have
get
so
it?
much lag. We'll just never
Oh,
get
God.
it right. Even
No,
when we're
today
in
is
person, I
better.
think.
Today is better.
So we're starting to manage the lag, is what you're saying, so that we can
Yeah.
say it at the same time. Yeah, because people are going like, why the fuck can't they say it at the same time? We have massive lag with the video and the audio. And sometimes the video is fine and the audio is wrong. Sometimes the audio is right, but the video is completely wrong. And so when we try to say something at the same time, hilarity ensues.
Well, we'll see.
So anyway.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Good to see ya.